Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Personal Responsibility, 6/29/08. One of my friends, Jake, did a post about the family seeking millions of dollars in damages from MySpace last year. The gist of the lawsuit was that the family thinks that their daughter was an innocent participant in meeting someone on MySpace. The background of the girl apparently was troubled before seeking drugs and sex on MySpace. He questions rightly, where were the parents? I feel bad for the girl for the assault. I feel bad for the parents who were not aware of her risky behavior before she joined up at MySpace. I feel sorry for MySpace. They put up a screening procedure, and these screening rules would have worked fine if this young woman had been honest and not lied. Putting MySpace on the cross as a scapegoat is wrong. If this girl had not lied, she would have been protected. She would have had the protection of the filters in place. I personally do not invite people to my page unless they are 18 and above. I would like to minister to these folks, but I do not want any appearance of corrupting our youth. I will talk with anyone who shows up at my site. It is because I am ethical that I put these limitations on myself. This world is filled with evil. How could a child well on their way to becoming an adult not have had any adult coping skills yet? This is the fault of poor parenting. This is the fault of our society, which ignores evil for the sake of the almighty dollar. I came to MySpace because it's a good place to meet people. It has been a good place. I came to MySpace because it is free. MySpace with the my ministry with the Church of Thomas does not accept donations, so this was an ideal venue. I went through a series of questions meant to categorize me. Age was one of the things they asked about. Criminals will always lie. It's their nature. They are in the malls around the country, they are in the grocery stores, and they are in other places where people meet. If people will just wake up to the concept that the internet is a public place just like all the others, maybe they will use the same precautions to guard against crime online. Parents should be teaching their kids to be cautious on the internet the same way my mom told me not to talk to strangers. Personal responsibility has gone the way of the dodo bird, unfortunately. Parents are also acting like the age of 18 is not really the end of childhood. Now it is around 25 or 30 years of age. There are people I know who still are calling their adult children kids. They say that they just don't know any better yet. They seem to want their children dependent on them forever. Anyone over 18 in this country is an adult. They can go to war and die. They can vote for all levels of our government. They can buy tobacco. They can sign a contract that is legally binding. People over 18 are not required to get their parents' consent if they want to get married. They can be sent to an adult prison if they break the law. If these key aspects of life do not make you an adult, what more proof do you want? I was raised to think that it was a great idea to go out and make my way on my own. When I wanted to get my first credit to buy a car with a bank loan, I did it alone. When I went to the bank, in which I had an account, they gave me a runaround. They said I did not have a credit history yet. They suggested that I should get one of my relatives to co-sign the loan. I told them that it was none of my family's business what I bought. After mentioning that if I was unhappy, I could just pay cash in a while when I had all the money. In addition, I suggested that if they did not want my loan business, they must not want my account business either. About this time, a manager intervened. He asked how much I could put down. I asked him what was standard. He said 50%. I told him that was not acceptable. I counteroffered with 33%. That he accepted. I was instructed on how to fill out an income tax form. I was taught how to balance my checkbook. I was schooled in husbanding my resources to get the bills paid and budgeting. I was told how to find out how a politician had voted to see if they deserved my vote. I was instructed in how to read every word in anything I signed. And I asked questions if I didn't understand what I was signing. These are key elements of becoming an adult. Where's the responsibility in this childhood education? When I hear of people signing contracts that have unwelcome fine print, I wonder why they did not read the document. When it says that you will owe a penalty or your interest rate will go up to 30% if you're late on a payment, why didn't I read it? I know of people who maxed out their credit cards to gamble in the stock market during that latest boom. Now they complain that it is unfair that they have to repay it. Stand up, be an adult, take responsibility for your bad judgment. I personally am tired of the government bailing out every business, industry, or group of people who gamble and then lose. If they were incompetent to sign contracts, don't let them sign anything. As a small business owner, I could not get a loan easily. I used my credit cards with full knowledge of the risk. When my latest business did not meet my needs, I began paying down my debt the old-fashioned way. I got a real job. I will be debt-free soon. It was not easy, but I did not shirk my responsibility to pay my debts. I have a better idea. Let's train our children from the age of 5 until they leave home to care about what happens. Teach them about bad people who might hurt them. Educate them how to handle being an adult. When they are 16 or 17, it's too late. You have failed in your duty to your children and to society you are releasing your kids out into. Much will be asked of them. Give them the tools to become the adults you want them to be. I look at Virginia Tech as an example. It was a horrible massacre. The gunman was a tortured soul who had been bullied. He had been earmarked as someone who was mentally unstable, and he should have gotten help. The parents of the murdered students are now saying their children, all these people were over 18, were not adults. Again, I see no personal responsibility here. If you are grown up enough to move away from home, you are old enough to sign a contract, go to war, and in some states drink, look out for your own safety. My own grandfather became a man at age 12. He left home to go to work for his own life. My grandmother married him later, at age 16. She became a woman when she did. No one questioned either of them about their ability to be adults. They had been trained to take on adult responsibilities. Please be the parents and honor your children with education they need to survive and thrive as grown people, as adults. If you do not feel up to the challenge, get help. There are many places that can aid you in becoming better parents. And in the case of the internet, know what your children are doing. You are there to try and prevent the kind of problem that young woman experienced. If they do slip through the net of your and MySpace's protection, please quit trying to blame everyone around you for it happening. I don't want any more layers of rules added because of this disaster. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.